another question for you.
Okay.
And it has something to do with beauty.
Okay.
How do you choose? Because your models are really beautiful. They're beautiful women. How
Okay.
do you choose them?
One of the things I do the first thing is having the idea.
Yeah.
Once the idea comes, from the divine being, I try to, put something down in my jotter and try to jot some things down. And over the time, I will meditate over it,
Yes.
trying to see who can fit into that idea that I have. I have a lot of people around me, friends, relatives, I have a lot of people. I have people that do nude for me. I have people that, that do in semi-nude, friends and other people. So what I basically do is that once the idea comes, I will try and look for, that person that can really interpret that idea for me. Yeah, that idea for me. So then I will take my time, So if I find out that I can't get, out of the ones I have, at times I go out, go to a place that I can just stay for like 20-15 minutes. Then if I see any beautiful girl out there that I like, that I think the idea that I have in my head that she can actually interpret it in a good way for me, then I approach the person. I talk to her. I try to introduce myself to her that, hello, my name is Oluwole Omofemi. I'm a visual artist. I would like to know you. I would like you to be my friend. From then we can exchange contact. Then I try to, the first thing I do is to make her my friend. That's just the first thing. So once I make her my friend, I try to make her more comfortable around me. I'll be included to the original idea that I have. So from this, so these are the things I do. And, once I have the idea, I try to look for people that can, give me that thing I want. But I use my friends, a relative, even family member too. Most of them are always there.
Okay.
Can just ask her, for us to, to hang out and have a talk. Then I ask some questions about her, what are his belief, his philosophy about life, his view. Does she like this? Does she like an artwork? From there, I can, develop a story.
It's very inspiring, and it's a lot like poetry too. You just, you have an idea, you don't know where it comes from, or it comes from the divine or some higher places or the absolute, whatever the name you call it, and then you're seeking something that can match that idea. It's just really beautiful. Yeah.
That the predestiny cannot be changed. Everybody has his own destiny. Everybody has his own calling. I always tell people that we are in those days, artists were like prophets. They were like seers.
Yes.
In those days, they were like seers. In Nigeria too, in Benin, like Benin Kingdom, particularly made for the kings. They were called court art.
Yeah.
They were for the kings, and most of those artists then were priests.
Yeah.
Who work in the palace for the king.
Exactly.
So, and like I do tell people too, God has created, artists, a poet, like someone that writes. God has, created us in a different way.
Yeah.
Because we have the nature of God.
Yeah.
Because like this argument I usually have with people.
Yeah.
In the Bible, there was a place God said, "Come, let's create man in our own image." And I do tell people that word, "Come, let's create man in our own image," I believe God was not talking to carpenters. He was not talking to medical doctors. It was not talking to,
I
a
love this.
hairdresser. Yeah, it was actually talking to artists. They were
Yeah.
ready-made artists in heaven, which
Yes.
I'm part of it.
Oh,
Which
that's,
other
this
people
is
too,
so poetic.
we are
Yeah.
part of it. So, when God said, "Come, let's create man in our own image," things were fine. We created, we helped in doing some other things too. By probably doing some detailing, the nails, fixing the eyes, and other things like that. But the whole thing, God to all the living, because He said, "Come, let's create." And so when I ask this question, like I am now, I don't easily get attracted to everybody.
Yeah.
And my second point is that anybody I get attracted to in this world, in this living world, probably in the spiritual realm, I made something
Yeah.
in her, probably in the process of creation. Probably I detailed part of her lips or the eye, or me has
I
been added
understand.
to that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
So when I see people like that, that I don't just like anybody, but when I like you, when I have this connection with you, everything has been settled from the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
We just came to this world to meet.
Yeah.
So this nature of art, God has that nature to beautify. He created the world. He does this. He does that. We artists too. We have this similar nature too.
Yeah.
We can create. We can beautify.
Yes.
We can even create a piece that can tell us how the future will looks like.
Yes.
So that's just it.
Yeah. It's this is a realization I mean, something that came to me, and that I came to observe, thinking about myself and thinking about the way I write, and observing the poets and artists from all over the world, but also from times immemorial. I mean, it's become pretty obvious to me that we are fulfilling a sacred function. And people have forgotten that. They have completely forgotten that, because now, I mean, since everything is industrialized, people believe that this is actually creation, that creation is manufacturing things. So they completely forgot the sacred root or the purpose of creation. And the purpose of creation is simply to connect you with your higher self, or the absolute, or the divine, or whatever you want to call it, that dimension that is way larger, way vaster than you, and the place where everything is manifested. And so what prompted me to create the review, and also to do the kind of things that I'm going to be doing in a few weeks, which is to mentor poets and artists, is that I realized that a lot of us are dying, and no one cares. The countless artists and poets and beautiful souls who simply died with indifference, poverty, shame, addictions of all kinds, alcohol, or even emotional addictions, all of that. I mean, look at pop stars, all these singers and the rock stars. Some of them are poets. Some of them are just frauds, okay?
Yes.
A lot of them are poets. A lot of them are artists, actually. I don't know if you already had this feeling while listening to a song. You listen to a song and you understand that there's something deeper than the music to this song, and this song really speaks to your soul, and you want to know who that guy is, and then you become pretty obsessed with the artist, the singer. Well, it's because that guy is an artist. There's not is singing, just like you are painting, just like I am writing poetry. He sings, and sometimes he also writes. And what happens is that since people are used to, consuming emotions, they want something cheap and fast. Singing is the most accessible form of emotional height you can get, because it's easy. I'm not downgrading singers, but what I'm saying is that when you listen to music, it immediately appeals to you. Getting into a painting is more subtle. It requires more
Yes.
attention. Getting
Mm-hmm.
into a poem is the same thing. It requires attention. It requires a certain state of mind. That
Yes.
said, the guy or the chick who is singing is doing exactly the same thing that we are doing, which is
Mm-hmm.
creating. And so
Mm-hmm.
real artists, what I have seen them doing, and it's really it's a shame and it makes me sad. And so I decided, I mean, something needs to be done because it's not
Mm-hmm.
normal. Well, they're doing this out of their hearts, out of their souls, and people consume them. So people buy their CDs and they stalk them on social media. And the act of creation, the beauty of what they're actually offering to the world, that thing that comes from their soul, people don't, they just don't get it. And what happened is that sometimes these people, when they reach this, very high level of fame, they simply collapse. I mean, they start doing just nonsense with their lives because this is not the reason, this is not the purpose of creation. Fame is not the reason, the purpose of creation.
Yes.
Fame can happen, or sometimes it can. I mean, it happens or it doesn't. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not
Like.
the point. The point is
Mm-hmm.
creation is about exactly what you talked about. It's about being authentic. It's about diving deeper within yourself to see
Yeah.
who you are exactly, what's the depth of you, and what's beautiful. And all creators know that is that once you begin to do that, you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself, and it never ends. It just never ends. You go like, oh my God, where's the end of me? There's no end to what I can feel. There's no end to who I am. And it's a spiritual experience. And now the society that we have created treats artists like liabilities.